Hi, this is Splier Shop. Today we will be unboxing and reviewing the Knight Dullahan from Home Depot 2024. All right guys, I've got the box open, got the instructions out. I've kind of already started. Originally I wasn't going to do an unboxing video on this guy, but I discovered something very, very important. It's a common complaint that I have seen in my Facebook groups, even some other videos I've seen on YouTube that have put him together, pointed out as well. So anyways, it's part of the first thing that you start off with. And of course you have the base, which is A, and then you have these two legs, which is B and C. So that complaint that people have been pointing out on a lot of their posts and videos is on this leg right here, which is C. The holes on the plastic are not aligned with the holes inside on the poles. And you actually have to put a bolt through this. So a lot of people were complaining, hey, the plastic's covering the hole inside on the poles. Well, this is kind of hilarious, but I noticed on the hoof that it's hollow at the bottom. And if you reach inside, you can actually feel the pole. And all you really need to do is grab onto the pole at the bottom of the hoof and gently pull it down. And if you do that, guess what? The holes are aligned with the plastic and the pole. Okay, once you've got the bolts through the bottom part of the legs, the next piece is D, and you're going to slide it right into the poles. You kind of have to press the legs together to get both sides to fit in. And then you're going to bolt the upper part of the legs. Okay, so we have part D in now. And this would have been awkward for me after bragging about how I figured out how to align the holes with the bolts. But when I was pressing this piece down, it actually pressed this plastic down, and guess what? The hole wasn't aligned again. So what I had to do was kind of lift up on the leg here until I could get just enough of the bolt in to start. And then once you get start, it's not going to go all the way in. So it's gonna stick out enough, you know, like right now, that you still don't have to do any cutting on the hole to make it work. So next is E. And what you're gonna do is slide him off this pole that comes out of the waist. You're gonna slide him down. He actually snaps in, and then you put in another bolt. Okay, so I pulled him out into our yard because he was starting to get tall. And the next piece is going to be your rib cage. You're gonna slide it through the pole here, and you're going to bolt it in right here. Next, you're going to take your box and you're going to tip him over and lay him on his rib cage. After you've tipped him over, the next step is to put the pants on. There's a hole in the bottom of it. Make sure that you get this pole as well as the wires through the hole at the bottom of the pants. Next, you're going to take H, which is the skeleton torso, and you're going to slide this pole into the pole that's coming off of the horse's back, and it's going to snap in right here. And then you're going to take your 3 wires and you're going to connect them. Now, one thing like on my Costco headless horseman is that you want to make sure that you press these in real tight when you're connecting them, or it probably won't work when you fire it up. Also, make sure that these wires here they were already connected. Just make sure they're all tightened up. Mine were not. After you've gotten the torso all connected and the wiring, you're going to slide your jacket on, and the next step is connecting some arms. Okay, so you have arm J and arm K. You're gonna slide them up through these holes, and you're going to connect them. You're gonna take the forks and put them right through these holes on both sides. And on this side, you're gonna make sure to connect this wire. After you've gotten the two arms on, the next part is the two hands. You're going to slide this one with the skull through the forks on it, through these two holes. And you do have to use a cotter pin right here. And then you're going to attach the wiring. And on the other side, same thing. You got two forks, they slide through the holes, and a cotter pin. So I had to stand my guy back up because I had a little bit of difficulty getting this neck piece slid down correctly. You have to get it to pop just right into place. It was kind of hard to do with it down on the ground. So after you've gotten the neck connected on the horse, you're going to connect the head. You're going to slide this little pole that's on the back of the head down into the neck, and you can see it just snaps right in right there. Then you're going to connect the wiring for the horse's head. Okay, so after you have the head connected, the next part is you're going to take the reins. You're going to put it through over his nose and around his mouth. And then you're going to put it through the hand hole and tie it together. Okay, so next is connecting the two legs. So this side is Q and this side is R. Now, don't get the bone that sticks out of the pant legs confused with being the actual leg. It's just a cosmetic piece. It's actually this long bented rod here that is R. And you're going to take the forks and put through the little bracket here. And on it is another bracket where the bone has forks and it goes through it. I was kind of worried and panicked when I saw this leg piece, the bone, because there was nothing attached to the bottom, and I thought I had gotten a broken piece, but it's not broken. It's just for cosmetic look. And then the same with the other side. You're gonna slide it up the pant legs, take the forks, and put it through the holes. Okay, after you've gotten the legs done, you're going to do the boots. Both of them have forks. They go right through these brackets at the end of your legs. And there are cotter pins that you slide through on both boots. Both of them are labeled S, so it doesn't really matter which side you put each boot. Next, grab your belt, which is U. And there are actually 3 Velcro pieces on the pants. There's one here, one in the middle, and one on the other side. And you're just going to attach the belt and drape the coat back over. All right, so you're going to grab the little strap and you're going to throw it right over his back and put each loop through his boots. Now the axe, I'm a little confused about. I probably didn't even put it right, but I just strapped it around his belt. And I kind of laid it over to the corner of his knee, so that way it's not putting much weight on the belt and sagging it down. Okay, you're going to take the horse's legs, which is Y and X, and you're going to bolt them in on the front, right here, and right here. Very simple. Okay, the last piece is popping the tail. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the biggest pain in the butt. I thought it would be the legs and the holes with the bolts. But actually, it's the tail. The tail is a pain in the butt. You have to push this up, which is already difficult because look, it doesn't want to fit in. And I actually had this piece come undone because I had pushed it with so much force. And then you have the hair on the horse's tail, which gets in the way. Not only that, but trying to get your fingers in between this corner and get this thing started is super difficult. I don't know how I did it, but I actually managed to get the bolt in. Okay, I've got the Horseman now plugged in. Got out my gargoyle for a little effect. And here he is running.
My steed and I have been together for countless generations, stealing souls and searching for my lost skull. And we have both grown weary. Now every Halloween it is the same old thing. Until today. Your soul is the last we need in payment to remove the chains that bind us to this place. Now come and offer your soul so we may live in peace and get vengeance on those that cursed us.
Okay, it's time to review this guy. So you may have noticed that it's a little bit darker in the day now. And one of the reasons why is before I did the demo, I actually had tested him out and we ran into a problem. The problem being the head. The jaw at first was actually moving when he talked, but over time it stopped moving. Then it was completely dead. Like his jaw would not move at all. So the first thing I did was I went through all the wiring, tightened them, made sure there was nothing I missed. But everything was lit up, the eyes, the mouth. So there was no signs that this wire here was loose or anything else in the control box. So my wife, actually first I called Home Depot and asked them if SVI could send me a replacement part for the head. They said SVI had no parts available, that I would actually have to take this guy fully like apart again, like disassemble him, and that I was going to have to return him to the store to get a refund. They did say that for all my trouble of putting him together, taking him back down, returning him to the store and putting another one together, they were going to give me a 30% credit. Which was $115. Even though that's great, I really did not want to have to take this guy apart and have to put another one together. So I did take the credit because I honestly thought at first that's what I was going to have to do. But my wife, she actually suggested that I look him through and see if there was anything I could do to fix it. Well, I looked under his jaw and there's actually an access point into the skull with several screws. So I was like, you know what? I'm willing to open that up and see what's going on. Well, when I open it up, the motor is actually sitting on top of this piece. And I noticed that there was two prongs going to the motor, and one of the wires was attached and the other one was not. So my dad actually has a soldering gun. I gave him a call. He said, go ahead, come over. I brought it over. We soldered the wire that was not connected back to the motor. It was about a 20-minute drive over to his house. I came back home, screwed the piece back together, hooked him up, And as you can see in the demo, he works flawlessly now. So let's get down to my review of him. So this guy is what I call a beautiful mess. And why is because the build quality is horrible, is terrible. But if you can manage to put this guy together, like if you can actually do it and everything works, or you know how to fix it, he is awesome. He is totally awesome. But let's go over some of the things that I did not like. So the first thing, of course, you know, the head and the wiring issue, that was not good. But also the seams. Let's look down here on this leg. As you can see, some spots, the seams on the plastic came apart. And not just that leg, but also over here on this hip bone where you push the tail in, it's also came apart. So that's obviously a build quality issue. The other thing is, and it is a fair complaint, is the alignment of the holes. I did explain like how you can fix that, but even then it's still pretty bad. And the worst one above them all is this tail. The tail is just horrible. I mean, I don't even know why they thought this was a good idea. So he is overall, you know, a pretty amazing piece, as long as you're willing, you know, to put him together and pray that he actually works. And I would probably say that you probably might want to know a few things as far as putting things together. You have to be a little crafty with them, like what I had to do with the soldering and the wiring, as well as pushing the poles up inside the legs to get the alignment right. I mean, if you can't think outside of the box, he is a pain in the butt. So, but if you can, and you have a little patience, and you actually get him done and he's working, he is pretty awesome. I just want to say that I do feel that he is a bit overpriced. I think he probably should have been around like $300, maybe even $275 for the build quality and for the shabby work that they did as far as constructing him. I honestly think $369 was a bit steep. And also, I do not like the fact that he has no support pole here for his breastplate, kind of like the original Headless Horseman from 2019, as well as the Costco one from last year. They really should have added a pole, because if they added a pole, guess what? He wouldn't be wobbly like this at all. So, and speaking of wobbly, one thing you could do, once again, thinking outside of the box, is you could take this pole right here, that's actually his back, and you could take either wire or fishing line and you could run it down behind him and stake it in the ground. That way he's not so top heavy. I do think, like with Wynn, I mean, see, I'm rocking him a little bit. I think that he's going to be an issue. He's going to need some extra support. SVI really failed on that one too. So anyways, we'll be showing you a demo of him in the dark. Thanks for watching this video, and remember to like and subscribe.
I am bound to this unhallowed place, forever adding souls and skulls to my collection, as my head was taken from me many moons ago. I haven't found the one that fits the same, but yours looks nice. How about you give me your fresh head to replace this old one I stole last night?